What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about another thing I'm really passionate about, and that is reselling secondhand clothing. And no, I'm not just talking about going to a thrift store, finding something cheap and then going back home to flip it. I'm talking about anything that's chilling in your closet right now. We're going to talk about how you can take those items and flip that for some extra cash on the side. If you like what you see, comment down below, like and subscribe, share this video with your friends, and let's get into it. Some things you're gonna need before you get started: tape measure, a phone for the apps, a clean background. I use a science fair board, and I also recommend OxyClean. It's not necessary, but I'll explain its usefulness later. And some good lighting. You don't need this light. This is just what I use for my video, so this is an example. Alright, so step one, find the clothing items that you want to sell. For your closet, just do a home recondo. If there is something that you haven't worn in like 2 or 3 months, I say it's pretty safe that you're probably not going to wear it for the remainder of the year. At least that's how I gauge it. Some people may say that's aggressive, but realistically, I treat my clothing like assets. And so if they're sitting and not doing anything, I will find a way to move that money in that asset into another asset. I believe it's a way to be sustainable and not be a hoarder either. In terms of going to a thrift and finding what you want to sell, I can make a separate video about that because that takes an eye for knowing what is trending right now in the fashion world. If you guys want a video on what I look for in a thrift store, comment down below and I could make that for you guys. Step 2. Wash the item. We're not out here selling dirty clothes, and so if it's as simple as throwing it in the wash, do it. If you are cleaning shoes, get a baby wipe, alcohol, and just get the stains out if you can. Magic erasers are really good at getting the hard to get out stains. Another tip I also have is OxyClean. The commercials didn't lie. They really do get the stains out. Such stains, blood, I ain't judging if there's blood. OxyClean, give that puppy a soak overnight. Trust me when I say that it's gonna come out looking way fresher. It's better than bleach because bleach is really aggressive. You don't want to destroy the garment. Measure the item. You're gonna need those measurements because when you're selling online, people would like to know that the item is gonna fit them. You did all this work to sell it, make the listing, and it gets to the customer and they say, yo, it doesn't fit. Can I return it? And I've had my fair share of that. And so we just want to mitigate all of that happening and put it on the customer for them to figure out, hey, is this going to fit? Decide the platform that you want to sell the item on. And so I cycle through 3 platforms: Depop, eBay, Instagram. Instagram specifically being IG stories. I don't have an account for reselling. I'll start with Depop. Depop is what I post my trendier stuff on. So Jordan 1s, Carhartt, Nike tees, things that are streetwear and trending that I know people are looking for, that I would look for. I'll put it up on there. eBay is for the collectors, I call it. Anything that has a wider audience. So this Wolverine jacket that I sold for I think $100 or something like that. Lastly, for Instagram stories, I am putting things that are relatable. I essentially say that anything you can find in a mall that I'm trying to resell, I'm going to put it on Instagram stories, because I think anything that is relatable, being a Nike hoodie, a new Uniqlo tee, things of that sort, because not everybody is into clothing like I am. Instagram is that place where I sell the more relatable items on. Now that you've picked the platform, I'm gonna take the photos. Depending on the platform, there's gonna be, I guess, different criteria that you're gonna need to satisfy with these photos. I wish there was a one-size-fits-all solution, but that's just the nature. So it helps to know what platform you want to go to, or you can take multiple photos and judge which platform you're going to do after the fact. Depop first lets you take 4 photos and a 30-second video. I try to be as cohesive as I can with the 4 photos that I have. I do the front, tag and detail, any flaw if needed, and the back. I used a video for shoes where I will take the shoe and rotate it at various angles to show every possible view of the shoe, because the 4 photos just won't cut it for communicating everything that the shoe has in terms of condition. eBay is a different story. eBay lets you put, I think, 12 photos total, so I go ham on the photos. There's no need to hold back. Every possible detail that I need to include, I will include. And there's never been a case where there's never enough photo space, so eBay got you covered. For Instagram stories, I try to keep everything cohesive. I'll put everything into one slide if possible, because I don't think people want to see more than one slide. People got short attention spans. Try to make it as convenient as possible it is for people to, just press quickly through Instagram stories. I'll put everything from multiple photos in one Instagram story to conditions and anything noteworthy as well. So basically just concising everything into one post. Now that you've figured out the platform, you've taken the photos, now it's time to do probably the longest part of all this, which is making the listings. I'll walk you guys through myself making one of the listings, just so we're doing this together. So I'm on my Depop. I'm gonna sell this Canon jacket. I have photos of it. Bam. Front photo, side photo, or detail photo with the tag, back, and just a closer view of the tag, because I think those are all that's needed. Canon satin jacket, vintage, navy. It is tagged a medium, but it really fits more like a small, so I'll make a note of that. Tagged medium, but fits small. Navy satin jacket with embroidered Canon logo. Pit to pit. It's 24.5, length 25, sleeve 25.5. Depop lets you throw on hashtags too, so I like to include Depop, Depop shop, satin, jacket, vintage. Select the category, outerwear. The closest one I believe is bomber jacket. Up here, brand, American vintage, because there's no actual brand for the obscure ones, so everyone on Depop just puts it under American vintage, because it's kind of what it is, American vintage, I guess. I don't even know if it's an actual brand. Condition is used, but it's excellent. Pricing, I'll put 30 because I'll break down why too. I want just to get my money back on this item. I paid 15. It would probably cost $10 to ship it, so I'll factor that cost into my pricing. So I'm trying to make $15 back, plus the $10 in shipping, plus the fee that Depop is gonna take. Depop is gonna take 10% of your total sale, and PayPal is gonna take some money too. If I need to break even on 25, I'll slap on an extra 15%. Let's just say a clean 30. That gives room for a few dollars discount. Depop people like to haggle, and so I like to add in a little bit of fluff as well. Navy and white. Vintage, pre-loved, I think it's the 90s. I'll do free national shipping because I worked shipping into my price already. And bam, that's my listing. I might ultimately lose money on this sale, but this is for the sake of showing how to sell it. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed through posting these listings, and then we'll check back in to see if any of them sold later on. So after you make your sale, you're gonna need to print that label and get it going, shipped to your customer. Here's me trying to shove this jacket into a poly mailer. Basically, if it fits, it ships. Afterwards, I'm printing out my label, and there we go. Slapping that thing on to the package, and then I'm gonna make my way over to the post office, and you can either wait in line or drop it off in their outgoing mailbox. I like to get receipts so that I can confirm with my buyer that it went out, so I'll wait, but there you go. So 2 weeks have gone by now. We're just gonna look and see what has sold. These pair of Nike running tights, and I sold them for $20. I believe shipping was $3.50 on these, minus the Depop fee and the PayPal fee, $14 to $13 in profit. This item I got for free from a friend, so that's just free money. Next up were these shoes that I got for a gift, yet they just were half a size too small, yet Adidas wasn't allowing exchanges or returns. But because Adidas has sales so frequently, I knew it would be hard to sell them for any more than what Adidas would offer them, and so I had to price them competitively at the price that they were purchased at. The sucky thing is that these went to New York, literally as far as I can go for domestic shipping. So it was better than having a shoe that I couldn't wear or getting $25 or $20. So what have you. As you can see, I have other items that I'm negotiating as well. So a lot of people have been interested in these dunks that I've listed. One guy asked me to hold it until next week for his purchase. So I might be able to sell these for $200. I lost out on this item. I paid $250 for it, but I just couldn't wear it, and the price on these have dropped, so I want to get out. These Tiffany dunks, someone messaged asking about them, asking if I could go down to 140, and I said yeah. He said all right, he'll hit me up, and so I am also on hold for selling that one as well. But this one was cheap. I picked these up for like $15 at Goodwill, I think. On StockX, they're selling for $200 to $300, but with the condition that they're in, I would take selling them at 140. I will show you guys this one. It was hard to price because there's not that many listings available of it. It's these vintage Avia 840 basketball shoes. They're from the 80s, and there are only 2 listings at the time of me posting this. One that sold for $500, but it's a different colorway, and another one that was also a different colorway that sold for $125. And so none of this actual colorway even sold. And so pricing this one was hard, so I went off the highest one and just started throwing offers at anyone that showed interest, but the offers were low balls for myself. I was asking for $300 to $200. Someone recently countered a $150 offer that I gave, saying that they could do $100, and so I countered with $125. We'll see if he bites. All this to show you, it's a process when you're trying to sell your clothes, yet if you're diligent about it and you hustle a little bit, you can flip your unused clothing or things you find at the thrift for a good profit. So that's all I got for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and until then, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.